All right, let me set the scene for you. Imagine this. I've just been handed the keys to a new AWS account as the senior architect. But there's no handover, no docs, nothing. Just a login and a good luck. My first job? Basically, figure it all out. This is the story of how we took that absolute chaos and turned it into something clean, efficient, and, well, sane.
You know, every good investigation needs that one little thread you can pull on. For me, it wasn't some flashy performance alert or a big red security warning. Nope. It was the finance report. I popped open that monthly cloud invoice, took one look, and just knew this was going to be a ride. That bill was the first clue that something was very, very wrong.
And there it was, $35,000 a month. And that was just for storage. My mind just started racing. I mean, for a company our size, that number was completely out of whack. It wasn't a typo, it was a giant red flag signaling some serious, systematic waste. At that point, a deep dive wasn't just a good idea, it was an emergency.
So faced with a monster like that, where do you even begin? Well, you start by drawing a map. You can't fix what you can't see, right? So the first phase of this whole thing was basically digital archaeology. We had to go in and take stock of every single byte of data, every storage volume in this huge, sprawling account.
And what we found was, well, it was a mess. A beautiful, expensive mess. We're talking S3 buckets with names like test data final I swear, and project logs temp don't delete. We found hundreds of old EBS volumes, just floating out there, not attached to anything, like little ghost ships racking up a bill every single month. And with zero tagging strategy, we had no clue who owned what, why it was there, or if we could safely get rid of it. It was a digital hoarder's dream.
To bring some method to all that madness, we came up with a simple 3-step plan. First, discover. We scripted everything to list every single storage resource we had, every S3 bucket, every EBS volume, you name it. Second, tag. We went to the teams and started applying basic tags. Who owns this? What project is this for? And third, analyze. We began grouping things together, not by their crazy names, but by what they were actually for. This was more than just a cleanup. It was about finally understanding what we were even doing in the cloud.
And once we could see everything laid out, we started to notice things, patterns. The same kind of data was being stored in a dozen different, inefficient ways. And that's when the light bulb went off. The real solution here wasn't just to clean up the mess one time. It was to create standards, these repeatable patterns, to stop the mess from ever happening again.
So we made it official, we called them storage patterns. Honestly, just think of it like a recipe. If you need to store, say, raw data for the data lake, this is the exact service you're going to use, this is how you're going to name it, and this is how you configure it. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation and just makes sure everyone is building things the right way, the smart, cost-effective way.
Our S3 buckets are the perfect example. Before, it was the Wild West, a total free-for-all of random names. After, we took dozens of those buckets and collapsed them into one single, beautifully structured data lake bucket. It has clear tiers. Data comes in raw to the bronze layer, then gets cleaned and moved to the silver layer. It's predictable, it's manageable, and wow, is it so much cheaper.
We even created this simple little cheat sheet for the whole company. Got a new app? Just look at the table. What kind of data do you have? If it's raw data for analytics, boom, it goes in S3. If you need that high-performance storage for an app server, that's a job for EBS. Corporate files, FSX. You get the idea. It sounds so basic, I know, but just enforcing this one standard was a total game changer for us.
Now, having standards is great, but let's be real. Relying on people to follow them perfectly all the time, that's just not going to happen. The real secret sauce, the thing that made this stick long-term, was automation. We had to build a system where the right thing happened automatically without a single person having to lift a finger. S3 lifecycle policies became our absolute favorite tool for saving money. It's brilliant. Check it out. New data lands in the normal fast S3 tier. But if nobody touches it for 30 days, it automatically, poof, moves to a cheaper tier. After 180 days, it moves again to the super cheap Glacier archive. The data basically manages its own budget, getting cheaper and cheaper as it gets older. It's amazing.
We took that same automated mindset and aimed it right at those zombie EBS volumes. We built a little script, a zombie hunter, if you will, that ran every single night. It would scan for any volume that hadn't been attached to a server for more than 2 weeks, automatically snapshot it just in case, and then delete the volume. It instantly stopped the financial bleeding, and that alone saved us thousands.
So, when all was said and done, where did the biggest wins come from? Well, you can see it right here. automation was the clear winner. A whopping 40% of our savings came directly from those set-and-forget S3 lifecycle policies. Deleting the unused junk was a big piece of the pie, too, at 25%. Yeah, the manual cleanup mattered, but automation was the real force multiplier, no question.
So we took this whole journey and we distilled it down into a roadmap that really any team can use to tackle their own cloud mess. And it's not about some magic button. It's just a clear, methodical plan to get you from chaos to control.
And here it is, the three-phase plan. Phase 1, assess and tag. You got to know what you have before you can do anything about it. Phase 2, consolidate and standardize. This is where you actually define your patterns and start doing the cleanup. And then the most important one, Phase 3, automate and govern. This is where you build the systems that keep your cloud clean for you.
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Anybody can spend a weekend cleaning up a messy account. But if you don't fix the habits in the systems that made the mess in the first place, you're going to be right back there in 6 months. The real goal was to build a system that maintains itself, to build a real culture of cloud governance.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Doing a one-time audit is great, for sure, but having a proactive, automated system for governance, that's what separates a well-run cloud from a ticking financial time bomb. You might know what's in your cloud today, but have you built the patterns and the automations to guarantee you'll know what it looks like and what it costs a year from now?